TGIF, matatapos na naman ang isang buong linggo. Kamusta po kayong lahat? Sana naging productive at all good vibes ang inyong week. Pero dito sigurado yan. So you know the drill. Stick around in the next hour as we bring you the day's latest stories. I'm Denise Tan.
You know the drill. Sa Tagalog, alam mo na ang barena. Ako naman po si Lord de Vera. Salamat Jesus at Biyernes na. Pero nahihirapan akong huminga dahil ngayon daw ay araw ng pinya. Isang sangkap na hindi dapat nilalagay sa pizza. Sabay pa na kalahati lang next week ang baba ng presyo ng gasolina. Abay, mapapamura ka talaga ng barena. Before ako maghamon ng fight, simulan na natin ang Afternoon Delight.
Gusto ko yung pagkakatag sa'yo kanina sa group chat natin nung sinabing International Pineapple Day today.
Parang nananadya yung mga tao talaga. Ngayon ay pandaigdigang araw ng pinya.
Yes, favorite. Uy, maganda sa katawan ng pinya, fiber.
Wala naman ako sinabing bad siya sa
Hindi, pinya as it is. Yun lang
Of
naman.
course.
Oo.
Diba? Sarap-sarap kaya ng pinya.
Oo.
At gusto ko yung alamat ng pinya na kwento. Kasi medyo freaky siya.
Hindi ko na maalala yun. Anong alamat ng
Kasi
pinya?
parang batang babae na nilagyan siya ng maraming mata.
Ah.
Diba? Freaky, diba?
Yung, okay. Sige, mamaya i-google ko na lang. Kalimutan ko na eh. Alright,
May pelikula rin nun, naalala mo, diba? Kay Rosana Roses, patikim ng pinya.
Pero iba to. Iba tong pinag-uusapan na.
Iba yung pinag-uusapan natin.
Oo.
Hindi, I think pineapple farmer yata sila kasi doon.
Ito kasi International Pineapple Day. Ayan yung movie. Ayan, ipakita natin.
Talaga may poster pa talaga.
Yes. Ayan. Gusto ko yung pinya. Alam mo yung nakikita ko yun minsan sa kalye.
May stick. Tama ba
Hindi,
yun?
gusto ko yung maliliit. Tumitigil ako pag may nakikita ko.
Maliliit?
Kasi yung matamis.
Okay. Yung queen, may
Ano ba tawag doon?
Yun ay mostly sa Bicol na kukuha. Bicol at meron yan sa Tagaytay.
Sa Tagaytay.
Sobrang
oo.
tamis daw talaga, no?
Ang tamis. Pero minsan meron ako nadadaanan na yung mga maliliit nga na ang tamis-tamis.
Kaya pala pinag-uusapan yung isang araw, tiyatan mo ko naglalagay tayo ng asin sa pinya.
Kasi papalapit na pala to. Oo.
Parang Pasko lang, no? Diba? At talaga, meron pa talagang poster ang International Pineapple Day. Hindi naman siya mukhang pine, hindi rin siya mukhang apple.
Oo nga eh.
Diba? Ba't pineapple ang pangalan?
Hindi natin alam yan. Alamin
At
natin.
alam natin na ang Hawaiian pizza, so-called, is neither Hawaiian in origin nor Italian. Canadian. Made by a Greek entrepreneur.
Grabe
no?
Oo. Okay.
Pero sana ang pinya ay, di ba, as is na lang natin i-appreciate. Huwag nang ihalo kung saan-saan.
Ayan. Kanya-kanyang panlasa. Tingnan natin. Okay, siguro marami tayong pag-uusapan,
Pag-uusapan ba natin
program. Yes.
kung paano kumain ng pineapple pizza?
Wag na. Mababad trip ka lang.
Hindi, paano kumain?
Ano?
Kunyari, ito yung pizza.
Ay.
Pag ganyan.
Okay. Pipitasin mo muna.
O, baka, si si tita ay mahilig kaya sa pinya?
Sino? Si Tita Jane. And Tito
yun din.
Radel.
Pati isa ring binabanggit mo.
Oo. Of course, my beloved Lolo Johnny and Uncle Nelson.
Hello po.
Almanzor, hello. They recently discovered daw the show.
Ay, thank you.
At tuwang-tuwa
Hindi
daw
sila
sila.
nagsisisi.
Hindi naman daw sila nagsisisi. At
Bago sila magsisi.
Oh.
Yeah, babatiin ulit natin mamaya.
yes, of course.
Alright, so, some stories you can expect from the program today, Friday, June 27th. An oil price rollback is happening next week as projected by the Energy Department. But as expected, it's not as much as a recent twin fuel price increase that went as high as 5 pesos per liter. Ito na yung sinasabi natin, partner.
Still in transport, there's a surge in road crashes in Metro Manila. Several of them turned fatal. Find out which areas in the city registered the most accidents that could have been prevented.
Meanwhile, the Justice Department is now helping the ICC secure witnesses in the case of former President Duterte. But the Philippine government was quick to clarify that this does not mean full cooperation with the International Court.
And in local politics, we bring in our correspondents from down south for updates in the Duterte bailiwick of Davao and Cebu.
All right, at this point, we head straight to Davao del Norte, where Vice President Sara Duterte led the oath-taking ceremony of newly elected local officials. And for details, we have News 5 correspondent Bril Montalvo. Bril, okay, sino yung mga nanumpa na yan at anong sinumpaan nila?
Yes, Lord Denise, sa kaninang umaga nga ay nanumpa na ang mga elected officials ng Island Garden City of Samar sa Davao del Norte. At mismong si Vice President Sara Duterte ang nanguna sa kanilang panunumpa. At nanumpa nga ito nga si Mayor-elect, itong si Mayor Torres at Vice Mayor Gindolmana sa Island Garden City of Samar at maging ang kanilang mga konsehala ay nanumpa din at mga congressman doon sa Samar Island. At pagkatapos ng panunumpa ng mga elected officials ng Island Garden City of Samar ay nagpaunlak nga ng ambush interview. Mabilisan lang itong ambush interview kay Vice President Sara Duterte kasi nga papunta siya ng Davao City para din saksihan itong oath-taking ng elected officials dito sa lungsod. At sa ngayon, Lord Denise, ay kakarating lang natin dito sa Sangguniang Panglungsod ng Davao City at kakarating lang din ni Vice President Sara Duterte dito nga sa Sangguniang Panglungsod. At ongoing ngayon ang sinasagawang oath-taking ng elected officials at ng Davao City at pinangunahan nga ito ni outgoing Davao City Mayor at Vice Mayor-elect Baste Duterte. At ngayon, present din si re-elect Senator Bongo at re-elect Bato de la Rosa. Nandito din sumaksi sa naging oath-taking ng mga elected officials dito sa Davao City. At kanina sa ambush interview nga kay Vice President Sara Duterte doon sa Samar Island, natanong natin kung ano ang mangyayari kung hindi makakapag-oath makakapag-oath-taking si Mayor-elect Rodrigo Duterte na nakakulong ngayon sa dahig. Sabi ni VP Sara na ang acting mayor ay ang nanalo or elected vice mayor. So meaning, ang magiging acting mayor ng lungsod ay si Davao City Vice Mayor-elect Baste Duterte. Lord Denise?
Doon ba sa ibang mga nanumpang elected officials, halos lahat ba sila ay kumbaga nasa political na panig ng mga pamilya Duterte o may nanggagaling din sa kabilang paksyon?
Yes, Lord. Dito sa Davao City, ang mga nanumpa ngayong araw is yung mga kaalyado ng pamilya Duterte. Kasi nga, Lord, dito sa Davao City, sa kakatapos lang na 2025 bilang Pilipino, lahat ng mga nanalo dito sa lungsod or 100% ng mga elected officials dito ay galing sa hukbong sa taong lungsod party na pinangungunahan ng pamilya Duterte.
Bril, wala ba siyang nabanggit, talking about VP Sara, about naman her impeachment case?
Bangayan kasi ng
Oo.
Kakabangayan lately
Yes, Denise, no, kanina sa ambush interview natin kay Vice President Sara Duterte doon nga sa Samar Island, naging mabilis lang yung ambush interview kasi nga naghahabol siya ng oras from Samar Island. It took 2 hours pabalik dito sa Davao City para saksihan niya ang oath-taking. So nasa 3 questions lang yung nasagot niya kanina doon sa Samar Island na event. At mamaya subukan natin i-ambush interview na naman si VP Sara pagkatapos ng aktibidad dito sa Sangguniang Panglungsod ng Davao City.
Paanghang na paanghang yung mga salitang binabato ng magkabilang panig. Pero ikaw ba, partner Denise, nakapunta ka na ba ng Samar Island?
Hindi pa.
Ay nako, Bril, pakikwento sa iyong tita Denise kung bakit pagdating ng mga bandang alas 12, mag-aalas 12 na, sa mga gumigimik sa syudad ng Davao, para matuloy yung gimmick nila ay tatawid sila via ferry papuntang Samal. Ano ba ang mga pwedeng gawin sa Samal na hindi pwedeng gawin sa Davao City?
Yes, tama ka nga dyan, Lord. No, alam mo, accessible na itong Island Garden City of Samal papunta doon from Davao City. Kasi nga noon, hanggang alas 5 lang ang biyahe ng barge. Eh ngayon, 24/7 na yung operation ng barge from Davao City going to Samal City. At maraming mga beach resorts, may mga activity, nightlife activity ang sa island, kagaya ng may mga fire dancing, may mga fireworks display kapag dumating yung gabi doon sa Island Garden City of Samal. At yung liquor ban nila, parang walang liquor ban doon sa Island Garden City of Samal. So tuloy-tuloy ang inuman at tagayan. Kaya dito sa Davao City, may liquor ban tayo hanggang alauna lang ng madaling araw.
Hanggang ano, Bril, sorry?
At alauna ng madaling araw.
Kasi huli kong punta, alas 12 pa yata. Alauna na
extend
pala.
na.
At least, I think pwede na yung alauna. Pag lumagpas ka ng alauna, kalabisan na yun eh. I'm sure aangal ka dyan. I'm sure
Hindi,
aangal
no?
ka
Pag
dyan.
alauna,
Tulog na ako alas
huli
10.
na yun.
Tawid ka ng ferry, tapos mag-book ka na ng resort doon para doon ka na tuloy-tuloy sa umaga, di ba?
Pwede.
Ganda doon. Anyway, Bril, sana madala mo kami ni Tita Denise dyan sa Island Garden City of Samal. Alright, maraming salamat sa iyong News 5 correspondent, Bril Montalvo.
Now, another Duterte in the news, former President Digong. Some witnesses to his crimes against humanity case in the Netherlands will now be protected by the Justice Department. While President Marcos supports this coordination between the ICC and DOJ, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says the gesture does not warrant full and direct cooperation with the International Tribunal. More from this report.
In the past, this was how Justice Secretary Boying Rimulya sounded when talking about the International Criminal Court and its insistence to probe the Duterte drug war.
Posisyon ko dyan, sasalubungin ko sa airport and accompany them on their trip back.
Oh, sasalubungin niyo pa, sir?
Salubungin ko sila para they can take the first plane out. Sir,
Sir, what about,
Sir, do you mean, are you saying deportation? What do you mean, sir?
i-deport ba sila or what? Since you are in charge of BMI
so, buwi na kayo. Wala kayong gagawin sa Pilipinas. Kami, kung meron kayong reklamo, file nyo sa amin.
They will not even be empowered to issue subpoenas in the country. They have not even coordinated with us about it. So if they want to come in as a hostile government, as a hostile force, to come in. But they cannot do that to us.
Fast forward to 2025, former President Rodrigo Duterte has been in ICC detention since March. The DOJ, under the same secretary, is now coordinating, even helping the court it once accused of overstepping jurisdiction and trampling Philippine sovereignty.
We already chose not to pursue the cases and let the ICC pursue these cases. Given that, it becomes also our obligation to help them because we are giving up our jurisdiction for their jurisdiction. Kasi nga, ang hirap na i-prove yung case dito at i-build up ang kaso dahil yung mga kailangan mong magsalita ay kasama sa krimen. Kaya komplikado rito.
Remulla stresses this is not flip-flopping on government's part. The Philippines is steadfast. ICC has no jurisdiction on the Duterte case since the withdrawal from the Rome Statute in 2019. For now, 3 to 4 witnesses have been tapped to testify against Digong. They are now under the Marcos administration protection while still in the Philippines. The DOJ has offered to fly them to The Hague when the time comes to face the ICC and recount what they know about Digong's war on drugs and the alleged abuses that went with it. But the Justice Department says it will not shoulder the travel expenses of these witnesses.
We will protect the witnesses, whatever it takes, because the prosecution will rely on these witnesses. Walang official communication, basta ito, dumating, we chanced upon this na lang, nung nakiusap, sabi ko, sige, pagbigyan. Alam ka naman tayo pa humarang. Mahalaga, yung testigo, makarating na maayos ang kanyang testimonya para malaman natin kung ano talaga ang nangyari sa mga panahon na yun.
In short, could this mean the Philippines will rejoin the ICC?
That is another decision that we will have to make as a country. It does not mean that, but it just means that we recognize the International Tribunal in charge of the case. Kasi doon nga natin dinala si Pangulong Duterte, former President Duterte. So, yun lang yun.
However, the DOJ calls it coordination or cooperation. Advocates for Duterte's alleged victims welcome the development.
It was also a pleasant surprise for us that they're offering this kind of support or this kind of cooperation with the court. Alam namin na nag-iimbestiga sila, alam namin na actually nag-reach out sila sa amin, pero yung ganitong klaseng support, this is in a way unprecedented because this really would be a responsibility of a member state.
But Conte still has reservation.
We need to understand that in the ICC, the protection that they provide is, well, very different. And if you ask the victims, they would rather be protected by the ICC. If it is under the quote-unquote regular Witnesses Protection Program under DOJ, there's not much trust on that on the part if they're going to provide, say, PNP personnel for security. So we don't know kasi the parameters. PNP, very questionable because these are the very same people who committed the crimes before.
All right, let's head down south to the Queen City. Today is the last full day of Gwen Garcia as Cebu Governor. And for updates, we have one new Cebu desk, Dale Israel. Dale, okay, anong balita kay Governor Gwen? Kamusta ba ang transition team, ang coordination nila? Mukhang magiging smooth ba ang transition? At balita ko ay hindi totally bibitaw ang governor kasi parang may bago siya yatang pwesto. Ano ba ito? Sa, in relation to new Governor Baricuatro.
Yes, may hapon, Lord. And we're here actually at the Capitol, specifically at the office of outgoing Governor Gwen Garcia. That's her table right there at my back. And just 3 days before the incoming administration will start, we're talking about Governor-elect Pamela Baricuatro, who was basically an opponent of Garcia, which was not known by many Cebuanos before until she ran for office. She got 1.1 million votes as against Garcia's over 700,000 votes in the May 12 elections. Now, the governor was not here at the Capitol now, and she will be here tomorrow for a Thanksgiving at the Capitol. So that makes her not around for the last full day in office before noon of June 30. So we went inside this office and saw bare tables and a few chairs, paintings, and the portraits were gone. Some of the personal furniture were already out of the office. The governor said that these are furnitures that she personally owns, and this will be attested by the PGSO. And before she gets accused now of stealing those properties. There are also several boxes for some of those personal stuff from Governor Garcia were also placed, and the immediate staff held a simple salsalo today. The mood was gloomy, especially for those staff who had been with Governor Garcia for several years, since 2004. But they were still all smiles in the gathering this noon. Other offices in the capital remain open, Lord, and continuing with their daily routines. There will also be a Thanksgiving gathering with Governor Garcia. That's tomorrow, and we'll be checking that one out for tomorrow. On June 30, Governor-elect Pamela Baricuatro is set to inaugurate her first day in office. And so at 12 noon, there will be an oath-taking ceremony in front of the Capitol grounds, and it will be followed by an interfaith Thanksgiving gathering at the so-called People's Thanksgiving Street Party will follow that. Baricuatro has emphasized that the event will be simple, keeping her promise to the public that it will be or it will not be extravagant. Her team is already coordinated with the Cebu Police Provincial Office for the event, especially for crowd control and peace and order. They're expecting the Vice President, Sara Duterte, to attend the inauguration as guest, along with Senator Amy Marcos. But they said that it is not yet confirmed if she will, both of them will be here. So as we all know, that Baricuatro was then a candidate of the Duterte-led PDP Laban party during the elections. Here's the juicy part. There's been a series of exchanges on social media, Lord, between outgoing Governor Gwen Garcia and Baricuatro, as well as incoming Vice Governor Glen Soco. There was this because of there was a claim of Baricuatro of supposed holding office of Garcia at the legislative building at the Capitol compound as consultant to the Vice Governor, to which Garcia allied incoming Vice Governor Glen Soco has denied. He said that the renovations for the legislative building is not for Garcia, but an expansion of some offices in the legislative building for use with provincial board members. Some government agencies like DAR, the COMELEC, and DILG were asked to vacate their office to make way for the renovations and relocate at the nearby Hall of Justice that is also within the Capitol compound. But Maricuatro said she will not allow this to happen because she will prioritize the welfare of government operations and service to constituents and not for a personal office. Although Soco has said that Maricuatro was reacting to a fake narrative of a report that Garcia will hold office at the Legislative Building, which she said, again, is not true. On the other hand, Maricuatro's transition team has repeatedly said that Garcia has not been very cooperative to the transition up until now. Lord?
Oo. Dale, matanong ko lang anong mangyayari doon sa electoral protest sa final ni Governor Gwen, Tapos yung, di ba na siya ay, yung contempt mula sa ombudsman.
Yes, Lord. The electoral protest has already filed at Comelec in Manila, and there has not been any information yet after that filing. And with the contempt case, the ombudsman is also silent over that contempt issue until now, since they announced that Garcia will be charged with contempt. Lord?
Abangan natin. May tanong ka pa ba? Alright. Nako Dale, wala na tayong oras pero thank you sa iyong panahon mula sa Cebu, ang ating One News Cebu Desk. Dale Israel. Thank you, Tito Dale. Alright, at this point, time out muna tayo sa politika. Batiin muna natin lahat ng nanonood ng Afternoon Delight via live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Mga suki natin, Alex Fuentes, Ralph Domingo, of course.
Ito Mike Policarpio, Mark Pasco, hindi natin nabati kahapon, nag-message pa
Rolf,
naman.
ano sabi?
Sabi niya, bakit di ka na raw mahalakak masyado? Nagbago ka na raw.
Ganon. Hashtag, you've changed.
Oh, iba ka na raw.
Ganon, teka lang.
You different.
Intay ka lang. Walang trigger eh. Nico Cabales, of course, watching us. Teka, silip ako sa YouTube.
Alright. Nanonood din ng Afternoon Delight ang mga taga-Pangasinan, si Julius Cayabyab, Professor Julius Cayabyab, John Alimpolos, kamusta ka pare ko?
John Centelieses, abanger na ako. Okay, watching while work daw siya. Good afternoon.
Very good.
Si LSV, I love Piña Señorita. Yun ba yung tawag doon?
I think.
Okay. Nakakatawa.
Sino pa ba? Ikaw ba marunong ka magbalat ng pinya?
Hindi. Kaya pag bibili ako nun, laging pinapabili ko na. Piña colada daw, ang trip. Ito.
Ayan, very good.
Eric Moyco. Masarap din ang pineapple pie. I-pair daw yan sa kape.
Pineapple pie?
Talaga ba?
Para matagal na yata ako hindi nakatikim ng
Oo.
pineapple pie.
Okay.
May kanta tungkol sa piña coladas.
If you like piña
Yan,
colada.
the escape song.
Sige,
by Rupert
mamaya.
Holmes.
Bati pa ulit tayo ng ating mga viewers. Pero ngayon,
Time out muna. Napakarami pa naming kwento sa inyo at may bisita mamaya tayong mga kausap. Clue, Sins of the Father. Magbabalik po ang Afternoon Delight.
This is AP News Minute. Pentagon leaders laid out new details about the U.S. attack on key Iranian nuclear facilities, although it's not clear how much damage has been done to Tehran's nuclear ambitions. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth described the attack as, quote, historically successful. Senate Republicans have been dealt a major blow by the chamber's parliamentarian who has ruled that a provision dealing with Medicaid that's key to the legislation Trump has labeled his big, beautiful bill does not adhere to the chamber's procedural rules. Palestinian hospital officials say an Israeli airstrike has hit a street in central Gaza, killing 18 people. Witnesses say the strike occurred as a crowd was receiving flour from a Palestinian police unit that had confiscated goods from looters. The Commerce Department reported the U.S. economy shrank during the first quarter of 2025 by more than the government initially reported. The economy declined by 0.5 percentage point, the first time in 3 years the U.S. economy contracted.
welcome back. This is Afternoon Delight on One News. Ako po si Lord de Vera.
At ako naman po si Denise Tan. Magandang hapon pong muli.
Alright, on to the news. After 2 staggered oil price increases, motorists may finally see some relief next week. Partly. The Department of Energy is seeing a rollback of 2 pesos and 10 centavos per liter in diesel prices. Meanwhile, gasoline prices may drop by a peso and 40 centavos, while kerosene could go down by 2 pesos and 20 cents per liter. The Energy Department attributes the potential rollback to the ceasefire between Iran and Israel. This week, major oil firms in the country staggered fuel prices hikes to soften the blow on consumers, but the oil price hike still totaled between 3.50 and 5 pesos per liter.
Meantime, transport officials are raising the alarm over a surge in deadly road crashes in Metro Manila. Many of these accidents happened at night, and according to the MMDA, the tragedies were avoidable. The details from Mobile Journal, Marymon Reyes.
The number of road crashes in Metro Manila dropped significantly during the 2020 pandemic, based on data from the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA. But incidents gradually increased again starting in 2021 as mobility restrictions eased. By 2023, the number of road crashes in the National Capital Region surged to nearly 86,000 cases, with over 350 of them classified as fatal.
Nakaka-alarma na. Hindi namamatay sa sakit. Talagang cause of concern na siya. Na itong mga bagay na to pwedeng i-prevent eh.
According to the MMDA, most fatal crashes occur between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Possible main factors is dahil madilim, inaantok.
Each loss are not just numbers on a report. They represent real people whose life is just as valuable as any other. Lives that we vow to protect.
In 2024, EDSA recorded the most number of road crash incidents in Metro Manila with nearly 9,000 cases, followed by C5 and Commonwealth Avenue.
This trend is really expected since this road also carry the largest volume in traffic in Metro Manila. This make them more prone to incident due to higher vehicle density and vehicle usage.
The MMDA emphasized the need to upgrade traffic infrastructure such as stoplights, road markings, and signage, as well as repair potholes to prevent further collisions. The agency is also considering proposals to lower the speed limit in urban areas to 30 kilometers per hour, a move previously supported by the Department of Health.
We will consult experts and then we have to consider din yung economic aspect eh. Diyan, pag nagbaba ka ng speed, yung turnaround time ng pampublikong transportasyon, like buses, jeepneys, TNBS, baka naman ma-restrict rin natin. So, we have to balance din po yung mga aspeto na yan.
The Land Transportation Office or LTO, for its part, plans to tighten its licensing procedures. Mobile journalist Marymon Reyes, we are One News.
Now we have more stories for you. Starting off with Australia. Australia has reportedly declined to host former President Rodrigo Duterte if he is temporarily released from ICC detention. According to Philstar.com, the Australian government is not even considering accepting Duterte, saying the matter falls under ICC's jurisdiction. The report comes after Vice President Sara Duterte said Australia was among countries being considered to temporarily receive her father. House Speaker Martin Romualdez supports opening budget deliberations to public to promote transparency. He proposes live streaming bicameral sessions to allow Filipinos direct access to the final stages of budget negotiations. This comes as the economic team sets the 2026 national budget at 6.7 trillion pesos. The Justice Department will reach out to the Supreme Court amid reports that the mastermind in the case of missing cockfight enthusiasts has penetrated the judiciary. One of the accused in the crime made the claim. The DOJ has also pointed to a powerful individual behind the disappearance of the Sabongeros who have allegedly been buried in Taal Lake, Batangas. For its part, the National Police Commission is also launching an independent probe following reports that police officers were also involved in the case. And the Supreme Court has ruled that a personality disorder preventing a spouse from loving may be grounds to void a marriage. The High Court said psychological incapacity, even if manifested after marriage, must be deeply rooted and existent before the wedding. The ruling reinstated a lower court's decision voiding one marriage after it was found that the husband was unable to love amid a long-standing personality disorder.
In other news, a simple birthday song rang out inside the United Nations in Bangkok, but it carried a very powerful message. It was a call to action for millions of stateless children who still lack something as basic as a birth certificate. And our Jovi Francisco reports from Thailand.
The birthday song was heard inside a meeting room of the United Nations Conference Center in Bangkok, Thailand. A room filled with youngsters whose presence in a global conference seemed peculiar. They are kids from all over the world who are here to show their support for policymakers, tasked to remedy problems that are being faced by persons without legal documentation. Some of the children present are stateless because their families were displaced because of conflicts. They were singing happy birthday to underscore the importance of having their date of birth registered.
For me po, nakakalungkot na wala po silang proper identification and they don't have the, especially birth certificate. Kasi during our dialogue with them, meron po mga stateless na mga bata. So some of them cannot avail the proper education and healthcare na guaranteed po as libre sa mga mamamayan.
This is one issue being addressed by the delegates of the Third Ministerial Conference on Civil Registration and Vital Statistics in Asia and the Pacific. And in a landmark decision, governments commit to ensure that all births are registered and all deaths are recorded by 2030. Presently, 1 in 6 children under 5 are without birth registration, and 1 in 3 deaths were not legally certified. And a lot of countries need to catch up to comply with the 2030 commitments so that by that time, every person in the world will have legal identity and insured of services they deserve. The new deadline gives governments 5 years to fill the gap. The Philippines served as one of the vice chairs of the conference. Yusek Claire Dennis Mapa led the Philippine delegation, and he was assigned to read the landmark declaration during this afternoon session. He shared with us what the country is doing to beat the deadline.
Ang target kasi natin doon, 99.5% of individuals sa bansa, for example, sa atin sa Pilipinas, 99.5% of Filipinos dapat may birth registration. Medyo papunta na sana tayo doon kasi wala, nagkaroon tayo ng COVID. So medyo mayroon tayong slowdown sa mga targets.
Reporting from the United Nations Conference Center here in Bangkok, Thailand, Jovi Francisco, we are One News.
All right, here are now some stories on social media on the Philippine Star via Life. The headline reads, who has the right? Sige, mamaya puntahan natin yan, ha? Ay, ayaw mag-click.
Yan na.
Ay, who has the right to champion Filipino cuisine? Pero bago daw natin pala pag-usapan yung social media, ipakilala daw muna natin ang ating delight of the day. Ano
Ito
ba yan?
may pinya, obviously may pinya.
Ito pinya.
Na mabuti naman nakahiwalay dito sa papakilala mo.
Parang hindi naman na bagay talaga yun pag ano.
Alam mo naman.
Ay.
Amazing.
Oo.
At
Pero meron tayong bagels dito, ano? Yung bagels natin, pakita natin direct. Ayan. Yung bagels natin mukhang may ham, may egg, may cheese. Perfect, ano? Breakfast or lunch, actually. Ang bigat ng bagels, eh. Tapos panghimagas natin tong fruits natin. So, yung kay Lord, puro pinya. Dahil nga, usog natin tong tumbler ko. Ayan. Dahil nga, International Pineapple Day. Ito naman medyo, Halo-halo may apples. Ano ba to? Melon? Melon and watermelon. Okay. Masarap yung pinya.
Bakit sa akin puro pinya?
Ito. Kuha ka dito. Willing to share. Ang tamis.
Ayaw mo yan, di ba?
Ang tamis, ang sarap.
Akala ko gusto mo hindi masyado matamis.
No, syempre pag pinya, gusto ko ng matamis. Ayoko na maasim. Doon ata yung may asin, right?
Sorry?
Yung may asin, like when people eat it with that.
Inaasinan mo yan kung masyadong
Maasim.
balance lang. Pero sa Bangkok, ginagawa nila salt, pepper, sugar.
May chili.
Chili pepper.
Ayun, chili pepper.
Chili
Sige.
powder pala.
Tumatalon pa yun. Okay, sige, habang nag-merienda
Baka
tayo.
sabihin, nahulog ko. Nahulog lang.
Ito, yung ating unang story on social media on the Philippine Star via Live. The headline reads, "Who has the right to champion Filipino cuisine?" Yan po ay isang tanong after Netflix Somebody Feed Phil, or the host of Somebody Feed Phil, si Phil Rosenfeld, bestowed the title of Champion of Filipino Cuisine to Erwan Yusef. Oo, teka, lakihan natin. There you go.
Si Erwan yan yung medyo kakambal ko ng konti.
Ay, pwede. Oo. Ayan, oh. So, madami yung nagtatanong dito, no? Sino nga daw ba? Actually, yun
So
yung...
maraming umangal.
Madaming iba-iba ang reaksyon. Pero doon nga lumabas yung tanong na sino ba talaga ang may karapatang mag-champion ng Filipino food? Oo.
Di ba lahat naman tayo dapat ay champion ng
Pwede naman talaga.
Nagkataon lang kasi si Erwan ay celebrity. At sabihin natin na yung kanyang travel vlog, he goes all around the Philippines, north to south, at pinapakita na, ina-appreciate niya, dinideconstruct niya, tinatry niyang i-recapture or recreate, yung itong mga dish na ito ay siguro sa mga bumabanat, tanong natin sa kanila kung ginagawa ba nila yun. Kasi pwede siya mag-rest on his laurels lang, pero instead, mas umeffort pa siya, mas talagang ginalugad talaga niya yung kabundukan, para mahanap yung iba-ibang mga flavors.
Oo. Hindi, tsaka lahat naman ng tao ay may sarili-sariling way of championing Filipino food, versions of the Filipino food. Diba? Yung, yun yung adobo na talagang lagi natin pinagmamalaki. Kung iisipin mo, sa Spain, may adobo rin naman sila. Diba?
Yung James Beard Media Awardee pala si Erwan. Of course, maraming magsasabi na kasi Pinoy na Pinoy si Erwan pagdating sa yung kanyang mga fini-feature, alam niya pa kung saan masarap kumain, halimbawa ng paborito niyang...
Kasi nga umiikot siya.
Pati yung mga street food na ano nga ba ito, paborito yung kinakainan? Nagulat ako, ba't alam niya to? Inasal, yan, paborito niya inasal yan. Alam niya kung saan masarap ang inasal sa ganung area. Kayo ba, baka puro doon lang kayo sa may mang. Diba?
But again, everybody has the right to champion Filipino food. Sige.
Wag hater.
Wag hater.
Hindi porque magkahawig kami, pwede niyo kami i-hate.
Oo nga, wag ganun. Okay, sige, puntahan natin susunod na storya. This one on the Philippine Star via Live. Mountain Province bans machine-made woven products in all shops and online stores. Teka, hindi ko paklik.
Ako na, sige. Sa haba ng iyong mga limbs,
Ay, gabi ka na. Hindi mo na ko ganun kahaba. Okay.
So, bawal lang ang machine-made.
Machine-made, yes. Sabi daw kasi, for centuries, it is the way of life na for part of the Cordillera indigenous people. So, sige.
Kailan ko lang umakyat ng Sagada?
Hindi pa ako nakaakyat.
Hindi
pa. Oo. Bakit?
Baka yung boyfriend mo. I-address natin.
Ay, hindi, wag na. Sabi daw kasi, okay, sige, balikan natin yung storya. Yun daw kasing gawa ng yung mga machine-made products. Imitations daw yon. And of course, it diminishes the authenticity, the quality, and more importantly, the cultural value.
Ano bang context? So, yung mga produkto na ginagawa sa Mountain Province, bawal magbenta ng facsimile na
machine-made. Oo.
How can they say na, how do they tell?
Yun ang
machine-made?
paano nga ba malalaman yun? Pero kasi sa online, para sa bilis ng production, para mas mapababa din ang
Feeling ko yung mga bag. Diba?
Yes, oo.
Kaya ako tinatanong kung nakapunta ka ng Sagada. Kasi yung very priced doon yung, yung mga bags ng Sagada weaving.
Oo.
At makikita mo talaga, yung hobby talaga nila na, hobby na H-A-B-I. Yung pagka-weave nila na talagang painstaking, very patient. At alam mo yung imperfections niya, that's what makes it the real Makoy. Baga.
As opposed to yung
Pero
mga
tama yung mga
mass-produced,
ganito. All politics is local talaga. At yung local government talaga, ang pwede talagang bumago ng kalakaran ng maraming bagay. No? And should start with them. That consciously adapt. Parang maganda tong ano na to.
Yeah. Oo, tsaka support local na yung alam nyo na talagang, yun nga, may cultural value, yung authentic. At kung pipili lang, gastos na lang din naman kayo di ba? Kunin nyo na yung alam nyong nakakatulong din dun sa region na yun.
Correct.
Okay.
Ibig sabihin yan, yung mga made in China, medyo bawal. Bawal yan. Baka may mga nakalagay kasi, di ba? Made in, alam mo na.
Hanapin nyo na lang yung made in Cordillera. Okay, sige, pag-usapan natin. I'm sure, madami mahaba-haba pang usapan yan. But again, this is Afternoon Delight on One News. We just need to pause for another break. When we return, we speak to Sins of the Father leads Gerald Anderson and RK Bagaching. Stay tuned.
And we're back. You're still watching Afternoon Delight. Thank you for staying with us.
Now, Signal unveiled its latest streaming services at APWES 2025, Asia's premier summit for media, telecoms, and entertainment. MediaQuest and Signal President and CEO Jane Jimenez Basas introduced Signal Super, the Philippines' first streaming aggregator app. Basas said the platform marks a major step in Signal's shift from a traditional pay TV provider to a multi-platform media powerhouse. She added that its expanding OTT portfolio will play a key role in fueling future growth. Signal and MediaQuest run One News. Now, ito yung binabanggit natin kanina, partner,
Okay
no?
po.
Parang lamang ka naman. Okay, Gerald Anderson and RK Bagaching step into the gripping world of scamming, justice, and family in Sins of the Father. And as you can see, they are here joining us live in the studio. Gerald, RK, welcome to Afternoon Delight.
Thank you.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so alam natin, you guys have put in the work day in, day out. How does it feel to finally know that it's about to premiere already?
Palabas na. Live naman to, right? So mamaya is our 5th episode na Friday. It'd be our last episode para sa pilot weekend. Just very fulfilled kasi pinaghirapan ng maraming tao to and finally pinapalabas na. And alam namin na meron siyang social awareness because it's about scamming. So meron matututunan yung audience natin from the show.
Ang galing ng plot, ano? So, siya ay respectable executive, pero all of a sudden nagulantang ang mundo niya.
Yes.
Kasi biglang singil siya ng literal na atraso ng airpods niya.
Yes.
Airpods niya. At mga scam talaga to. So, crime thriller
Crime thriller, may suspense, may love, may family drama, may action. So, sabi ko nga, lahat ng elemento nandyan. And more than anything, may mensahe. It's bringing awareness about scamming, which is sobrang ngayon. Lahat ng tao halos nasa scam ka. And we just wanna, bring awareness.
Okay, sorry. Since binanggit nyo nga pa ulit-ulit yung scamming, alam natin, a lot of people are getting victimized by it. At paano siya? Paano yung usapan nyo regarding being up to date sa nangyayari sa current situation? Is it a collaborative effort na magpasok tayo ng ganito, in the stories as well?
Well, yun yung premise actually. That's the foundation of the story is kasalanan ng, dapat ba pagbayaran ng kasalanan ng mga magulang. Dapat pagbayaran ba ng anak yung kasalanan ng mga magulang niya. So that's why it's Sins of the Father. And yung sin ng tatay ko na si Mike Trinidad na ang gumanap po si John Arcilla, marami siyang na-scam na tao. And his conscience took the better of him. Nagpakamatay siya. Ngayon, hinahabol ng mga biktima yung perang yun. So, our writers, our research team, talaga nag-research sila. They did their due diligence about mga nangyayari and how people get scammed. Ngayon, ang dali na mag-scam ngayon through text, through AI. So, maraming platforms yung scamming ngayon.
Kayong dalawa ba na-scam na ba kayo sa buong buhay ninyo?
Yun, sabi nga, I have friends and kami din, as yung group of friends namin, we invested. Pero maliit lang naman, subok-subok lang.
Yung maliit, baka yung maliit ninyo.
Hindi
Iba na yun sa
Hindi naman. Pag, if something, ang mensahe ng show na to is, if something is too good to be true, it's probably not.
Okay. Kaya ba medyo natagalan ka bago nagkaroon ulit ng vehicle, Gerald? Kasi sinasabi mo, inaantay mo yung mga proyekto may social relevance.
Yes, of course. Para mas mahirap na yung ginagawa namin kapag gumagawa kami ng teleserye. So, it should be something na, may mensahe. I feel more motivated to, just like yung mga ibang shows ko, like Budoy, Tayong Dalawa, A Soldier's Heart. You always bring, kumbaga, value to the audience at lagi dapat may nauuwi sila.
Ikaw naman, RK, can you talk about your role and how different is this as compared to your past projects?
Ang role ko dito ay si Johnny Policarpio, isa siyang police na naka-encounter ni Samuel Trinidad. Hindi maganda yung meet-up natin.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, hinuhuli niya ako
Kasi hinuhuli ko siya. So, isang mahabang pursuit isang scammer na tinatawag ko.
Nagkatrabaho na kayo before?
Never.
Yun ang first time ko siya makatrabaho and sana hindi pa ito yung
Hindi talaga pwede na
Grabe
ito.
yung mga rules nito, no? Talaga extremes.
Sobra.
Sa batang po naman siya, gangster.
Natutoka ako dun eh.
Kung sinampal niya si Ma'am Charo doon, ito, marami na siyang ginagawa sa akin dito.
Ma'am Charo, ano po?
Kaya nga eh.
Volleyball player to. Malakas-lakas yung mga tao.
You were saying?
So yun nga, ang pinagkaiba nito sa ibang projects ko, well, nangaasal pa rin ako. Pero it's my first time to work with Gerald and sa ibang cast. And working with Direk FM Reyes and Bijoy Balagtas, grabe. Iba yung binibigay naming effort and collaboration dito. That's why, tama yung sinabi mo kanina, it's very fulfilling kahit nakakapagod. When you watch the final output, parang ang sarap sa pakiramdam. And of course, yun nga.
Siya, no? May pagkanwar na...
Parang ganon. Like, there's suspense, there's thriller, there's crime, may investigation, and even yung character ko, kasi, well, lumabas naman na. So, iniwan sa akin tinago sa akin ng tatay ko yung pera na na-scam niya. And there's also bigger players involved na malalaman din ng mga tao as the show goes on.
Tayo lang, isusuli mo ba sa ending yun? Sa mga tao?
Hindi pa namin nakukunan, wala pa ako doon eh. So hindi ko rin maikwento.
May tanong naman ako kay RK. Kung ikaw ba naging mayor ng Maynila, anong gagawin mo para ma-prevent ang scamming sa mga Manileños?
Oh, wow.
Ayos ba sa
Ang ganda. Magpo-produce pa ako ng marami pang shows para mag-educate sa mga tao, how to spot red flags, at para mga programa para maprotektahan ng mga pera nyo, naghirapan nyo yung mga investments.
Hindi ako taga Maynila pero iboboto ka na
Diba?
Ayun. Malayo rin ako, pero sige, RK. Pero sige, obviously, aside from awareness, dahil nga sobrang talamak yung pagsascam, ano pa yung gusto nyong takeaways na makuha ng mga viewers ng Sins of the Father?
Well, yeah, except sa scamming, I mean, there's values about family. Ano ba kayang gawin ng isang tao para protektahan ng pamilya niya? Kasi since ginawa ng tatay ko yung malaking kasalanan na yan, naapektuhan na rin yung pamilya ko, yung trabaho ko. Ano ba kayang gawin ng isang tao para protektahan yung mga loved ones niya? Isa yan.
Sama, dapat pinapamana sa'yo ng AirPods mo, kaya, di ba, property, pero utang.
Ang sama pa nito is iniwan pa niya yung character namin na iniwan ako ng tatay ko nung bata pa lang ako. And then nung namatay siya, matagal ko yan, 20 years ata kami hindi nakita, and then nung namatay siya, may iniwan siya malaking problema pa na kaya ko. So also the question through this show is, dapat ba pagbayarin ng anak yung kasalanan ng magulang?
Wait lang, meron akong question. Anong klaseng ba yan? Utang ba yan? Di ba ang utang pag na...
Well, not utang, na-scam eh. Na-scam niya sa mga nag-invest sa kanya. Kasi, okay, para may konting background, he's a parang, financial influencer or guru. So, nagtuturo siya ng...
Ay, maraming ganyan.
Yeah, see? So, kaya niyang palakihin yung pera. Dapat, ang tagline niya, yayaman tayo, dapat yung pera mo ang nagtatrabaho para sa'yo. So, obviously, yun yung hook niya para mag-invest yung mga tao. So, sa storya, may mga malalaking tao nag-invest sa kanya, may mga tricycle driver nag-invest sa kanya.
So, tao-tao ang habulan. Oo.
Habulan. Yeah.
Opinion ninyo, do we really have to pay for the sins of our fathers ba?
That's the question. I mean, yun yung
may sub-question pa yan. Paano nyo napaniwala yung mga tao na pareho kayo ng genes ni John Arcilla?
Tito John ang sasagot yan. Yun yung una niyang tinanong, paano ko ba naging anak to? Sino bang nanay? Sinuslot-lot de Leon naman yung nanay. So, pasok. Sabi niya, okay, pasok. Pero no joke, that was his first question pagdating sa set. Sino bang nanay?
Conscious.
Galing mo dun, ha? Pero going back dun sa...
I was not prepared for that answer, sorry.
I mean, that's sa sitwasyon ko and what I've learned through this character na ginagampanan ko is hindi talaga dapat. Kasi kasalanan ng tatay mo or ibang tao pa rin yan eh. 'Di ba? Ginawa niya yan, hindi mo naman ginawa yun. Unless kasama ka dun sa kung ano man,
Panloloko, yeah.
'di ba, panloloko. But in this case, hindi. So hindi dapat talaga pinagbabayaran, especially na dadama yung pamilya ko, yung immediate family ko. Pati trabaho ko, livelihood ko na naapektuhan. Nag-trending yung character ko sa social media kasi anak ko ng scammer. Anong inisip nila, kasama rin ako. So, hindi. But iba-iba. There's always different situations. Pero para sa'yo, hindi.
Sa akin din, hindi. Dapat wala ka namang kontrolado dun sa ginawa niya, di ba? So, and he's all grown up, making his own decisions.
Yeah.
Diba?
Pero kasi nakakainis, ina-assume nung na-biktima
Yun.
na ikaw yung tumatamasa nung
At nakakatuwa kasi yung comments, kasi pinapalabas yung show namin sa YouTube, yung comments, they're very engaging, and yun din sinasabi. Kawawa naman yung character ni Samuel, hindi dapat pinagbabayaran, or sasabihin, uy, kaibigan ko yan, na-scam din siya, ganun din yung scam. So, that's the whole...
Nakaka-relate sila.
Nagkakaroon sila ng boses, kumbaga.
Yes.
Nagkakaroon ng isang forum wherein they can share kung ano yung pinagdaanan nila. Kasi minsan yung mga nasa-scam, tinatago nila, nahihiya sila, di ba?
Na dapat
Nauto ka eh.
Dapat
di ba?
hindi,
But ang dali lang kasi. Kung all walks of life, kahit ano man status mo sa buhay, parang it doesn't matter. Pwede ka talaga maloko.
Oo. So, lahat pwedeng makarelate dito. So,
Every years.
Oo.
May nasa-scam every 3-6 years. Pag sinabing, boto nyo ako.
Ibang scam yun, mas matindi yun. Pero hindi, sige, para makarelate lahat ng ating mga viewers, baka gusto nyo na silang imbitahan.
Yeah, mga kapatid, maraming salamat po sa patuloy niyong pagsuporta at panonood ng Sins of the Father.
Patuloy natutukan ng pinakabagong handog ng ABS-CBN Studio under JRB Creative Production ng teleseryeng naniningil ng katotohanan.
Yes.
Makakasama po natin dito sila Jessie Mendiola,
Shaina Magdayaw, si JC De Vera, Francine Diaz, Seth Fidelin, at marami pang iba. Maniwala po kayo, napakadami pang mga galing na cast kasama dito. Sins of the Father, Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. po sa Todo Max Primetime 5
Siyempre.
ng TV5. Marami
Yun,
sa pinapalabas po sa TV5. So,
Alright. Again, thank you very much, Gerald Anderson and RK Bagatsing for joining us here on Afternoon Delight. Bawi
Thank you.
tayo bukas sa ating mga pagbate sa ating mga viewers. But that will have to do it for us this Friday and this week. Thank you for joining us here at Afternoon Delight.
Thank you.
Thank you, RK and Gerard. Join us again Monday, 2 p.m. Ako po si Lourdes De Vera. Enjoy your weekend.